First of all, how's the week of training been coming off the loss? How have you seen the guys in training?
Well, today was our first day of real training. We had Sunday where we did a little recovery work. It was very light, and then today we started our preparation towards Tulsa. It was a good, intense training session, very competitive. We try to make it competitive. That's something that we need to implement in our game and be a little bit more competitive in the league game. So the idea was to create a lot of competition within playing short-sided games, and that's what we accomplished today.
Yeah, and you spoke of intensity. That's something you hit on, the introductory press conference, saying the team needs to up the intensity, up that competitiveness level.
Yeah.
Your first 2 games in charge, have you seen that, or is there improvement to be made still?
Yeah, there's a lot of improvements to be made still. That's not going to happen overnight. There's, sort of this culture and this mentality that needs to change, and that comes from doing it in training, repeating it in training, and then doing it in games. And I felt in certain parts of each game, the last 2 games, we had that intensity, and then obviously we didn't have it for the whole game. Otherwise, we would come out with better results, especially the game against Loudoun. After the weather delay, we came out with no energy and no intensity, and that's where I felt we lost the game. At the end, it was an individual mistake, but I felt our energy was not good enough because I felt we should have won that game.
And how much does an early first half goal, does that sort of hurt the team more at this point because of the mentality that you spoke about? Is the recovery or the response to moments like that something that has to change as well?
Not really, but for me, it's about not giving up goals and making sure that defensively we're solid. Defensively, we're getting behind the ball with everyone and covering all the spaces, not giving space to the other team. If we can do that and keep the other team from the scoreboard, I think that's when we give ourselves a chance to win. But to exchange goals, that's not the formula to win. And we're talking about that. We're trying to implement those things in practice with the competition they have, and hopefully that will transfer to the game.
Yeah, tough road stretch coming up, 3 straight games, starting with Tulsa, who is right in the mixer in terms of the Eastern Conference. How do you start to prepare for those games and try to turn some results around?
Yeah, Tulsa, they had a rough start to the season like we've had, and they have been able to get a couple results here and there lately in their last few games. But we feel like these games, especially the next 2 on the road, are games or teams that we can beat and games that are winnable. So the mentality is all about, working as hard as we can, making sure that tactically we set them up the right way so that we can give ourselves a chance to win those games, even though they're on the road.
You have Kembo back. What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, a lot of energy. We've missed his energy. I'm not sure if he's quite 100% fit yet, game fit. He's full-time training now. It's been about 7 to 10 days, but it's going to take him a little bit of time to to have that game fitness or game sharpness, and hopefully we start getting him into games little by little. He got a little bit of time in the last game. He'll get more time in Tulsa, and we build his fitness that way, and hopefully in a couple of games he's ready to go 100%.
You've had a few of these night training sessions.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's a good way to adapt to the time when we play, and I feel like there's sometimes between our last training session on a Friday to the game on Saturday night, there's too much of a lapse, too much of a downtime. You need the players to feel ready and be training at the same time that they play, and I think that's something that we'll do going forward.
Yeah, and just finally, you said the next couple games are winnable games, teams you can beat. That's been the case in previous games. How do you now make that switch from taking a winnable game and actually winning it?
The mentality has got to be, if we work hard, if we're committed to defending as a group, as a unit, getting behind the ball, making sure that we don't leak goals. I think that's the formula. I mean, we have had winnable games before, but I'm not sure if the mentality was there. So we haven't been able to take advantage of those games. These 2 games, we have to do it. There's no turning back. There's no tomorrow. We got to make sure that everybody's ready mentally to do it.